well done, but you can do better.
How's it going, guys? S1ippery Jim here, bringing you another Modern Warfare 3 Survival Mode game. This game is on the new DLC map Piazza, which is at present only available to Xbox Premium Elite members. Very exclusive. It's the way Activision like to do it, which kind of sucks for everyone else who doesn't want to pay out that extra money and buy an Xbox or whatever. But anyway, I've already posted a game on Liberation, the other of the two maps in this DLC, and this is Piazza, obviously. So I'll show you the strategies that you can use. Solo, it is quite challenging on this map, much more difficult than Liberation, but this area here is probably the best spot where you can find cover from the enemy, air support, etc., and still kind of hold it off reasonably successfully. Now, down the stairs to my left, I have set up my 2 grenade turrets. You don't get too many enemy coming up through there, so this entire game, not one of those turrets got destroyed by the enemy, which was pretty sweet and allowed me to save money and hassle. One drawback from this area of the map is that it's a fair distance from any of the other armories aside from the explosives armory, but provided you only make one trip to one of the other armories as needed each at the end of each wave, you should be fairly right. The main issue you'll encounter is probably ammo, and I really recommend just picking up whatever assault rifle they're using at the time and using that, because that way at least you'll have some options if you run out of ammo altogether. So, what we're doing here is we've got the 2 attack helicopters on wave 24. You don't get any juggernauts because this is a regular difficulty wave or map, as is the other one. And you can tell that by the fact that you start the game with the USP pistol and self-revives. For some of you guys were asking that on my last video, it is regular difficulty, not easy difficulty, regular difficulty. Okay, so that is pretty much the end of wave 24. We've just got the 1 helicopter left to deal with, so I'm just going to set myself up for wave 25, which should be a pretty easy wave. You usually just get the regular troops coming in. And I'm going to try and make my way from cover to cover to get to one of the armories here and restock the stuff that I need. Now this map, yeah, still undecided as to whether I like it or not in multiplayer. You know, it's a nice looking map, I'll give it that. You have the water, you know, the Italian style buildings, and all that stuff. But I don't know, it's just not one of my favorite maps at the moment. But you know what, sometimes you hate a map to start with, and eventually it grows on you and it becomes one of your favorite maps. And way back in World at War, Call of Duty, the map in that game called Dome, some of you guys might know what I'm talking about. That map I hated when I first played multiplayer on World at War, but you know what, over time that became one of my all-time favorite maps, and once I worked out, you know, how to play it. So maybe that's the case with Piazza on multiplayer. But anyway, getting back to the survival mode here, I got a little bit of damage done to me by the attack helicopter there, but we recover, and I've replenished my ammo. I'm also going to get an air support out of the air support armory. Now, it's probably best on solo to use air support rather than predator missiles because of the fact that in this map, you're going to have very little time to yourself to use the little laptop thing that you control the Predator missile with. And the Predator missile is only going to take out maybe 1 of the attack helicopters. So it's best to use an air support, because if you get lucky, sometimes you can take out 2 helicopters with 1 air support, as well as any troops that are in the vicinity. And the advantage is you can just throw it down really quickly. Now, you may see me through this game throwing it down inside this little hallway, and what that does is the airstrike will still come in, and any helicopters hovering above this area will hopefully get taken out, and that means you won't need to muck around trying to take them out by other means. So I usually try and use grenades and you know, all that stuff early in the round, because you get a huge group rushing you or rushing to the area all at once. You're going to get the bulk of them all in one group. So use grenades and stuff like that early on. Hopefully you can do some damage to one of those suicide bombers, and then they'll explode, killing the rest of the troops as well. Reasonably good tactic. Now occasionally you're going to get someone coming up from the top here. Just have to be careful of that. You can take cover down the stairs. And worst case scenario, you can duck around that corner as well. And sometimes I have a claymore down there. Take out any troops come rushing back around that corner while I'm reloading. Now I should mention here at this point that this is the second game I ever played on Piazza in survival mode. So for that reason, it's probably not going to be the highest round ever on this map. But it's still fairly decent. Hopefully give you guys a chance to see the map, see what it's like if you haven't got it. And also some strategies on how to play it on solo mode. Now, this area is also good if you're playing co-op with a partner as well. In fact, it's much, much easier that way. You may have seen some the Relaxing Ends videos on co-op. As always, he's very, very good at survival mode. Okay, so just restocking on some of the things that I've used up here. I'm going to get some frag grenades in a moment as well. But we're probably right for almost everything else here. I'm expecting a Juggernaut round pretty soon, so just going to be careful of that. And, you know, I've got enough points here to get body armor and all that stuff as well. I don't usually muck around with the right squad troops or the Delta squad too much. They're more of a luxury, but maybe they would be helpful in some circumstances for sure. Okay, so it's just another regular round here on wave 26. And as you can see, I've picked up the FAD assault rifle. So I'll be able to pick up ammo off the ground if I run into trouble, and I'm not nearly out of ammo in that thing already. But I've still got my LMG anyway as a backup. Now one thing down the stairs there, a lot of them take cover down there, and they can be quite hard to hit from this area without venturing outside. But for that reason it's good to throw some grenades down there or whatever. And there you go. You can see the advantage of using that airstrike from within your cover area here as well. It takes out a load of the enemy without you know, mucking around. And you can easily buy one back at the end of the round, which we will do. So yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that they didn't try and change things up with the DLC maps for survival mode. You know, they could have introduced a new difficulty level, by which I mean not necessarily, you know, going harder or easier, but just having different things happen during the rounds. Because as you guys know, on each of the difficulty levels, exactly the same sequence of enemy will come at you in the same pattern each round. So maybe, you know, with two new maps, they had the opportunity to introduce some changes coming in, you know, which would have been pretty cool. But they didn't do that, so, you know, maybe survival mode is a bit of an afterthought, or something that they felt they had to do because of the lack of zombies maps in, you know, in an Infinity Ward game. But for those of us that like to play survival mode, you know, we would have liked something a little bit different, and maybe eventually they will bring that in, and then again maybe not. Okay, so this is the strategy I use for the Juggernaut rounds. What I do is just hang around out front of my camping spot till the wave starts, and then I head round in a big circle. And this map is really, really good for running a big circle and staying behind cover as you do so. I just plant my claymores just to take out the regular enemy and those annoying suicide dogs as well. And we'll just gradually take out the enemy as we go around here. You just want to be a little bit careful that you know where your cover is, and that you look out on your mini-map for any enemies that might spawn in behind you. Sometimes you get 3 enemies spawning in behind you, taking you by surprise. But it's really this simple. And you can use, you know, your airstrike or even a predator during the juggernaut rounds to try and take out the enemy quicker as well. Speaking of quicker, I did look at the leaderboards just recently, and I think the record solo on this map apparently is something like 230 waves in, get this. Now I was going to say at this point I got to wave 29 in this game, and it took me about an hour. Now apparently on the leaderboard someone got to 230 in 2 hours solo on this map. So obviously there is just a whole heap of hackers now on the leaderboards, which does nearly inevitably happen within a couple of months of the game coming out. So that's disappointing, and I feel sorry for all these guys that are claiming world records, because now no one will know if you have the world record really, unless you're posting a legitimate looking video on YouTube. That's how a lot of people verify their records. But going from the leaderboards now, most of the records, probably the top, I don't know, 50 at least, are probably hacked, unfortunately. And yeah, that's just the way it goes. It's the nature of the beast, and it's annoying, but you know, I don't think they'll ever stop people doing that sort of thing. I mean, going back to World at War, as you can tell, it is actually one of my favorite Call of Duties of all time. And on the zombies leaderboards on World at War, I reckon the top 5,000 records on each map are hacked. That's how ridiculous it is. And obviously in that game, there's just too much hacking even to go on and try and play multiplayer these days, which is unfortunate. Speaking of which, I was, you know, having a go at one of the dudes that was flying around with God mode on in one of the multiplayer games I was trying to play the other day, and his comeback was, well, you know what, everyone does it, it's just a bit of fun. Well, the reason everyone does it on World at War at present is because all the legitimate players know that you can't play a decent game, and they have gone away from World at War and given up on it. That's the reason. I can tell you right now that the only people who is left, you know, 99% of them are hackers, and that has ruined the game. And you know what? They're still selling these games brand new for you know, a reasonable amount of money. And I feel sorry for anyone who goes out and buys it and tries to play multiplayer, because they're basically screwed if they do that. So yeah, that's it sucks, but that's life. Anyway, we've only got the 2 juggernauts left here, so we'll be there. We take out one of them, and we just got this last riot shield dude, and I'm gonna replenish the ammo and all that stuff, buy back my airstrike and all that prior to restarting round 28 here. Alright, so we've got some ammo now, and let's head around, and I'll head towards the air support armory and try and avoid these frigging chemical warfare mines or whatever they are. And then we'll take out this last guy and head into wave 28. Now this area back here is probably the best area in terms of having cover. There is a few other spots, but you can always, you'll always get hit by helicopters, and your grenade turrets will get taken out if you try and camp in those spots. That's the thing with survival mode. You really have to find an area where you'll be undercover, and that, you know, that kind of screws it up a little bit in my opinion, because it would be good if you could camp outdoors somewhere, but you really can't, because you get the helicopter rounds coming in, and then your grenade turrets get taken out if you set them up outside. So you're kind of limited, you know, if you want to get to high rounds to trying to camp or set up in an area that's indoors and undercover. You know what would be pretty cool is if they introduce vehicles, don't you think? I know some people are against vehicles, but if they introduce vehicles in Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, that would be super cool. Like, you know, even if it was just tanks and some other drivable vehicle. I know they have air support that you can control as part of a kill streak reward, but you know, if you could actually jump in a tank or something like that, or an you know, armored vehicle, that would, you know, give you another aspect to the game, and that would make them make more of the large maps, because they seem to be going the short, intense firefight style maps, smaller maps lately, and yeah, you know, you want a bit of variety. That was one of the things in World at War where you can play in a tank. That was pretty cool in some of the maps. So, you know, even if they introduce you one or two big maps, I think that would be pretty awesome, because obviously vehicles are a huge part of Modern Warfare in real life. And they seem to have pretty much handled the air support part of that in Modern Warfare, but not so much the ground vehicle part of it. Alright, wave 29, guys, and this is the very last wave that that we get to in this particular survival mode game. You know, you always end the game thinking, you know, I died pretty stupid there. I could easily get higher than that, and I guess that's one of the things that makes you keep coming back to survival mode, trying to beat your score. And in this case, I definitely feel I could have gone much further than this. But there you go. Maybe another time. So it seems to be fairly quiet at the moment, because I took out a bunch of them with that air support. But we're going to get a few coming in here, and I do run out of ammo in the FAD, and I think that's my downfall, because the LMG takes a lot longer to reload. So I go around the corner here, and I was already damaged. I maybe took a little bit of damage from my own claymore there, and in the end I couldn't kill him quick enough to get revived. So there you go, guys. That is the map Piazza on survival mode. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment if you did. For now, thanks for watching. S1ippery Jim out.